Okay, general math students, we're going to complete this example now showing a comparison between reducing balance and straight line method depreciation. We're going to plot a graph on a grid of the two methods, and then I'm going to show you how to obtain the same graph but using the TI Inspire calculator. Then we'll use the TI Inspire calculator to find the precise location of the point of intersection between the two methods. Now, I think that you'll be quite capable of doing the graph on your own before I try it. So here's the grid you're going to use. I want you to do a plot of both methods on this graph. Then I'll show you my graph and you can compare yours to mine. Go ahead. Okay, so I'm going to have a go at it now. If you're not quite there, pause the video and I'll show you this grid here. Okay, so here are the two methods plotted on the same grid. So you can see the straight line method here. I'll rule a line through the straight line method. Okay, so there it goes there. There's the straight line method. And the reducing balance method forms a curve, exponential decay here. So I'll join these points with a curve. And there are our two methods plotted together on the same grid. And the point of intersection occurs here. In a previous video, we did identify that sometime between 5 years and 6 years, sometime during that year is where the changeover occurs from where the reducing balance method goes above the straight line method. So we can see it there. Okay, so there's the grid on paper. Now, in order to do this on the calculator, use a calculator to find the point of intersection. What we want to end up with is something that looks like this. So you can see it looks the same color coding as the grid or the paper, the graph on the grid that we just did on this screen. Straight line method with the straight line, the red straight line, and the blue curve for the reducing balance method. So let me show you how we get the calculator to do this. So just go home here and go into the graphs button. Okay, so we go there and we type the equations in here. So the straight line method was -4, I beg your pardon, I'll do the reducing balance first. 3,000 bracket 1 take 0.25. Now we're going to raise to a power of x. Don't use n here because we're using x on the horizontal axis this time for the number of years. So we put an x there and I'll push enter. Now you notice we can't see anything unless maybe your view window is different to mine, but there's a fair chance even if it is different you won't be able to see much at the moment, but don't panic, we will get to that in just a moment. Okay, now I want you to go back to menu and graph entry edit and then a function. And here you can see it's now F2, not F1, so we're putting our second function in. So -450, and we multiply by x plus 3,000. There is the second equation, or the straight line method equation. So we just enter the two equations into the calculator. Now we can see a bit of a line now, but the issue is our view window. So we need to make the view window the same as it is on our paper graph or our grid. So we go to menu and we go to number 4, window/zoom, and we want the settings, number 1, window settings. So I'll push that. So our x-axis represents the number of years, so that goes from 0 up to 6 years. And then our y-axis represents the money, so that goes from $0 and up to $3,000. So we just use the same values as on the axes from the minimum to the maximum. That's all we need to change, and we'll say OK. And there's that graph. Now to get the point of intersection, we go menu and analyze graph, number 6, and we want number 4, the intersection. Number 4, intersection. Okay. Now we need to tell the calculator some bounds here. You'll need to use a little directional pad in the center here to move this around, but the lower bound. So we need to give the calculator an idea of which point of intersection we're looking for, because technically there's two. There's one up at the start when they're both worth 3,000. But this is the one we're interested in. So I click here once, and you can see I can sort of drag and it turns grey. And we can see the point of intersection being identified already in those coordinate points below. I'll click again for the upper bound, and then there it is. There is our point of intersection, 5.15 and 681. Okay, so let's go and write that down. So 5.15 and 681. So in terms of interpreting this in words, that means that at 5.15 years, both methods have a value of $681. Or words to that effect, something like that. Okay, so part G asks which of the two methods would be best for tax purposes if the owner's intention was to replace the equipment after 3 years. Okay, now what we want here is more depreciation or a lower value. Okay, because the lower the value, the more the depreciation, the greater tax claim. So it's kind of a backwards type thing, right? So you look in the first 3 years here, these first 3 years, and the reducing balance method, the value is less than the straight line method. So that is better. We actually want that because then we can claim more depreciation on the tax for this business. So the value is less for reducing balance in the first 3 years. So let's just make a quick note here. Greater depreciation leads to greater tax deduction. Okay, so we'd be going for the reducing balance in this situation here. Okay, so thanks for watching. Go ahead now and try some more questions and get good at finding that point of intersection using the calculator.